Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the show. So my name is Extus Justin, and I'm here with my guest, Jessica Faulkner. Hey Jessica, welcome.
Thank you. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Same here, same here. Great having you on here. So Jessica, tell us, what is it that you do?
I am a yoga instructor, a doula, and a doula, by the way, just to clear the air for those who do not know, it's a woman or person that helps pregnant women deliver their babies and emotional, physical support.
Hmm.
Do Reiki, and I'm also a student. So that's a little bit.
Okay, cool. So you said a doula,
Doula.
a doula. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is my first time hearing this word here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you said you're also a yoga teacher as well?
That's right.
Okay, good. How long have you been into doing yoga and all that type of stuff?
So I've been into yoga for about 3 years now, and then I started teaching 2 years ago.
Hmm.
And I got into it because I saw that there was potential for me to expand my future, honestly, and then also my mental state because I was once in a depressed state of mind. And I found that through yoga, I was able to get out of that. And I saw that through my yoga practice, I actually became healthier, I became more calm, and I became better into my mental health. And now I'm not depressed anymore. So yoga has continuously been with me.
Yeah, awesome. And now you've actually you started a yoga business. Then you're helping others with yoga now.
Yes.
Uh-huh. What made?
I
Oh, go ahead.
Yes. So from my yoga business, I help people to choose their reality. So if they're in a state of mind like I was, I help them to get out of that, whether it's depression or feeling negative about themselves. So through yoga, I meditate with them. I give them a theme, I give them a quote or something to help them focus on for this yoga session to get them out of that state
Hmm.
of mind. And that's how they evolve each time they do a yoga session with me.
Hmm. Awesome. So is your course right now, do you work with them online as well?
Yes, so I actually am doing currently during this pandemic Zoom yoga.
Yeah.
So we'll do it on the Zoom calls, and from there they can interact with me, and I give them suggestions, stuff like that.
Yeah. Now, what about before? Were you doing offline before the pandemic hit? You had a studio. You have a
Yes.
studio?
Yes, there's a studio that I go to and I teach for an hour there, and I do hatha style yoga. There's many different styles, hatha, vinyasa, kundalini yoga. So through these different yogas, I help to give people that release of stress, to alleviate any pains or aches, and to have a peace of mind. I also would go to apartment buildings so that people who don't want to get out of their apartment, they can just go right downstairs in the gym and have yoga there.
Yeah, that is awesome. So in essence, I guess when it comes to helping people with yoga and stuff like that, when did you start practicing yoga?
I started practicing yoga in college. My
Hmm.
freshman to sophomore year, I started doing it, and I was into it because of I knew that physical health and mental health all go one, like in one. They all can encompass the power of you eventually becoming a better person yourself. So I decided to do yoga in my college years, and I was depressed. So I said, hey, I need to get myself out of this. How can I do that? And I started researching yoga and the benefits of it. And then I started practicing it just maybe 15 to 30 minutes. And then I just continuously kept it going. I didn't stop, and I saw improvements within a week.
Hmm. Okay. So what do you find in terms of how did yoga help with the depression? What did you find that it did?
Yes. So I believe when I started doing yoga the first time, I sensed that the different poses that I tried to do in terms of, like, for example, downward dog, child's pose,
Hmm.
tabletop, those different poses actually open certain chakra centers in your body. And chakras, for those who don't know what those are, they're the 7 different encompassing parts throughout your spine too, from your head down to your navel area. So there's 7 different chakras, and we can get into that too. But for now, those chakras were actually opening when I did the yoga poses. And certain poses allow you to exit those like calcified chakras. So if, for example, my heart chakra might have been clouded because of this depression that I was going through. I wasn't feeling like I was being loved or like receiving the energy of getting out of that headspace, which also could play into my crown chakra not being cleared. So there are elements with depression that when you start looking at the internal thing of it, which is your mental health, and then also your chakra systems, the spiritual side, which my business talks about in balancing those 4 things: the spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. So I was going through that process at the moment, as looking into my internal body, looking into my spiritual body, and then seeing that as I did these poses in yoga, they actually alleviated those boundaries, or those boundaries and barriers that were not being cleared. So as I did these poses, it actually opened those chakras up and allowed the light to shine in.
Mm-hmm. Like, was it like an immediate change? Was it how long did it take for you to actually start feeling the changes and stuff?
It actually, I would say it might have taken about 2 weeks for me to really sense that I was being like enlightened, as they say. So when I started the first week, I noticed that I felt better. Honestly, when I finished my yoga session after 15 minutes, I felt confident, I felt positive. And then I would say after that first week, I started feeling like I could start planning my future better in terms of what I wanted to do with my life. So that's when my business and Rare Enterprise was like, wow, this is my purpose. I actually have a purpose in this, to help others to get to where I'm getting. Because right now it's the depression that was kicking me up and making me feel terrible. So now that I know that yoga is one of the ways that can get you out of this mindset, that can get you into that positive, futuristic thinking, then that's when I became amazed at the powerful sense of how yoga can make you feel. So after those 2 weeks, I said, I can see my future is going to be better than what it is now. And I started planning ahead, and I actually transferred schools. So I wasn't at the school I was because it wasn't doing anything for me. That was another enlightenment way of me seeing that something wasn't right. And that yoga process helped me to see that clear.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, love it. What about mentors? Do you have any mentors that you kind of that help you on your journey?
Let me see. I think I've had a lot of different mentors throughout my stages through college, because during that time, I had mentors that I thought were my mentors, but they didn't really fall through sometimes. So there were times where I would say I had a mentor, and then there would be an issue where I wasn't able to continuously get their input. So I think that actually played a part into not having someone to talk to. Um, a lot, it's like friendships. You can have someone that you may speak to one moment, and then the next moment they don't talk to you. And I would say I've had mentors through ups and downs in my college career. I had people from like counseling centers that I would
Mm-hmm.
speak to, and then um, from there, I didn't know if it was for me, and I didn't know if I was getting the right guidance, because sometimes you're not guided into a way that it seems like they would be there for you. It would be like one moment, for example, I had a counselor through my high school to like early college career, and it was a licensed therapist. So she was there to help me through the part of my life where I was going through issues at home. And she did a great job. And then from there, it was like, okay, I'm now out of that phase in my life, but now I'm going to college, and now I'm going through this new monumental path. So from there, I only had few people to talk to, and I didn't like really see any potential mentors. Um, I did try to speak to people who might have been potential mentors, but it didn't seem like that connection was there. It didn't seem like there could have been something of a tree being planted and then flowers would start growing. It was kind of like a hit or miss situation.
Hmm. Yeah. And you also mentioned a few of the chakras and stuff like that. So tell us more. How did you, is that something you kind of learned as you studied yoga, or was it something you kind of knew about before you got into yoga?
Great question. I actually learned about them a little bit before I started yoga. I was researching how the Eastern medicine works and how they use their terminologies like Tai Chi and Kung Fu, and just looking into the way that they look at the body. And I learned about the chakras through that. So there's 7 chakras. There's the crown chakra, then there is the third eye chakra, and then there is the throat chakra, and then there's the heart chakra, and the sacral chakra, and then the root chakra. And then I might be missing one. Yeah, there's 2 more: throat chakra, third eye, crown, um, sacral, heart. You guys know where I'm coming from. If I miss one, you'll see it if you type in chakras. But I learned about that a little bit, and then I started looking into how chakras play a part into yoga.
Hmm.
And yoga talks about how certain poses will open certain chakras and release whatever negativity may be stored in that chakra. So I believe that when I started doing the yoga poses, that actually helped me to sense and feel and connect with my body more, to know what's happening in terms of my mental state. If I felt like I was depressed, then there has to be some type of connection in my mental state, whether that be my crown chakra or my heart chakra, that I'm feeling like I'm not getting the love that I need, or I'm not getting the right clarity of mind to think positive. So that's when I started researching the ways of the chakras, and then how the crown chakra deals with mental clarity of knowing certain things, opening your ability to think and to sense
Hmm.
your environment. And then the third eye chakra is dealing with your intuition and dealing with also your 5 senses of feeling. And then your throat chakra deals with how you speak, how are you receiving information, and are you able to reply in an effective manner to know that you're speaking well to this person, or are you being angry when you speak? How are you speaking? And then the heart chakra is dealing with empathy and dealing with love. How are you receiving love? Are you giving it? And are you feeling it? And the sacral chakra is dealing with more the physical ability. Is your body able to function in your day-to-day life? And then the root chakra deals with the fight or flight, primitive instincts.
Hmm.
There we have so many things about the chakras that it can get very deep. But as I did yoga, I noticed that it really played a huge part in my ability to clear that depression and to see the truth.
Yeah, yeah. Now, did you try anything else before yoga, or was yoga the main thing you found to get over your depression?
I believe yoga was the main thing for some reason. It seemed to work, and when I started doing it, it was like a enlightening period, as the Buddha says. Taking the time to meditate and to silence your environment, to feel what you're feeling, and not to ignore your feelings,
Mm-hmm.
to just feel the stillness in your body and your breath, and just taking that time to be with yourself and not try to mask those feelings or repress those emotions. That was the moment of like the night of the soul, as they say, like you being able to sense what's happening in your state of mind and your body. And that's how I really came to see the truth within my body and how I need to improve my state of mind. So it was like a literally a session to be in myself and to teach myself what I'm doing is not right. And what I need to do is clear my mind to be more positive and to get out of that depression.
Mm-hmm. That's powerful stuff. I love it. I love hearing stories how people find you find different tools, techniques that really work for you, and it really changes the game when you actually start implementing it as well. Because I know most people, when they hear about stuff, they read about it and these different things, but you actually took not just learning about it, but you actually went out and applied it within your life and actually got some really solid results from it. So, in essence, when it comes to your clients now, are there any? Do you believe that yoga works for everyone? Like how? What's your perspective?
Well, I would agree that most people have a preconceived notion regarding yoga in terms of
Mm-hmm.
they think that they need to be flexible. They think that they aren't able to really see much improvement. But the reality of it is they need to take a chance with it. Most people
Mm-hmm.
that I have encouraged to do yoga, they will give me the same like, oh well, I'm not that flexible, I think my back's gonna hurt. Well, think about it like this: yoga is meant to get you to be flexible. It takes time for you to get to a point where you're doing splits or doing back bends and everything, but you have to work your way up. As for me, I've done the beginner level to intermediate to expert. So it didn't take me a year to get there. It took me like 2 years to really get to the point that I'm in with yoga. And it can be the same way for anybody. It takes a simple one time class and you'll see the difference it can make for you. And you'll see that your mind is going to be more able to feel senseless, almost like you're going to feel like a bliss has just penetrated your mind. You're going to see that your body is now relaxed. You could go to sleep and sleep like a baby tonight. You'll
Mm-hmm.
see, if you take a yoga class, whether that be hot yoga or regular yoga, hatha yoga, vinyasa, you will be able to see a difference regardless of your ability to be so flexible. You just have to take the chance. And if you keep up with it, you'll see how much it makes you a better person in terms of how you deal with people, how you approach situations in a heart of love instead of getting angry or instead of being obnoxious. You start seeing the true purpose of your life in another light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what about how much time is it? How often do you practice yoga? Is it something? And when you work for clients as well too, what do you typically recommend? Is it a daily practice, weekly? How do
Mm-hmm.
you approach it?
I would suggest people who are beginning, they can do yoga maybe once or twice a week just to get the flow of it and to start learning more about it. And then if you want to continue with it and you feel very passionate about it, like me, I do it daily. If not daily,
Mm-hmm.
almost like every other day, because sometimes you do get busy. But since I have all this time on my hands, I do it every day. And I would say that you should really go with how your body's feeling, because think about it, we and our average like American person sits at a computer maybe 10 hours a day sometimes, and we don't
Mm-hmm.
to stretch our limbs and joints and bones. So if we start doing yoga, it actually releases some of that pent up energy and that stress. And also it helps you have a better posture too. If you think about that, if you want a better posture, if you want to stand longer, if you want to do certain things with your kids or grandkids, it's
Right.
for that to just be able to have that energy, whether you're standing up for long periods of time or you want to increase your mobility. It's just a great way for you to keep your mobility going regardless of your age. You don't have to be a 12-year-old to do back bends or to do simple things. You can be 80 years old and still do yoga.
Hmm. Perfect. So the next question becomes, if someone wanted to learn more about you, what you do and what you're up to, what's the best way to be able to reach out?
Yes, so I have an Instagram and I'm very active on my Instagram. If you
Hmm.
guys can DM me or and follow me also. So I love to give you guys tips and advice in general. So I have two Instagram accounts. So one is for my Rare Enterprise yoga, lifestyle tips, Reiki, health. So Rare Enterprise on Instagram, and then on the doula site for the pregnant women. I know there's a lot of pregnant women right now that are feeling seriously confused and scared about giving birth in hospitals. So you can follow me on Instagram at Rare Inform on Instagram, and then is Rare Enterprise also. And yeah, that's a great way to contact me. I love to interact with people on a personal level, so Instagram is a great way for that. Rare
Hmm.
Enterprise on Instagram and Rare Inform on Instagram for the pregnant side. So,
Perfect. Love it. Love it. Awesome. Well, in that case, I'll definitely share. And as you're watching this, guys, if you're watching the live or the replay, I'll have all the links Jessica shared to contact her. I'll have all of them right below this video. So with that being said, Jessica, hey, thank you so much. Do you have any final thoughts to leave with before you end?
I would say for anyone who's considering a lifestyle change or an enhancement to their life, that the Rare Enterprise is definitely the next big like giant of taking over your health in a great way, because you're going to see that your life is going to be better through yoga, through meditation, through life coaching, and all these aspects of our lives is what we need more than ever during this period of time. We need to improve our mental health, our physical health, and balance these elements within ourselves to live a better life, to help people, and to overall see that we all have a purpose on this earth and we need to execute it wherever possible. So if you need that help and you need that enhancement, improvement, just let me know, contact me, and I'll be glad to help you.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. Well, thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. And we shall be in touch. Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome.